But when you look at the appointment, doesn't specify the TORs. So that is the point. Thank you.
And upon assuming office, from your testimony yesterday, you took it upon yourself to look at the files and brief yourself about issues, especially issues relating to the Jammeh Commission. You were not briefed. You had to look at the file for yourself. Correct?
The submission I did on the 24th of last month.
Yes.
Based on the documents we have in our records.
Great. Okay. And we also spoke about the independence of the commission briefly and what Cabinet's perception was of that independence. And if I get our testimony right, yesterday, the Cabinet indeed thought of the commission as an independent institution, correct?
Yes, and you asked about my own perception.
Yes, and your own perception.
And I also indicated it is an impartial commission and it's independent.
Great. You also highlighted that most communications are done written and not verbal. Correct?
I also qualified further that when you are meeting your superiors, either the Secretary General or the President, you have to go with your notebook. So whatever they state, you have to take note so that you will be able to do the follow-up.
Yes. You did indeed mention that when verbal instructions are being given to you, especially by your superior, you take note of them and then metamorphose them into written instructions later. All right. Having said that, I believe it is safe to say that I have graduated from your class. I have gotten my qualifications. We can now proceed to the specific issues.
But when do you graduate?
So you want to keep me in your class still?
You know, in university, we graduate you both in learning and in character. So that is decided by the examination board.
So are you the examination board here?
I'm part of the examination board.
So did I pass? Not yet.
You are above average.
Thank you. Okay. I will take that then. All right. So grading of my assessment, your teachings yesterday.
So before auction will finish, by selling all those assets, it will be prudent for those tertiary and higher educations who are involved in agriculture to get those facilities. So there, this cabinet decision was made. And then after cabinet meeting, I was called by my superior, then Secretary General, that you should call the ES here, the Executive Secretary at the Ghana Commission. We called persistently, we couldn't reach him on phone, whilst they are already at MSA, Maintenance Service Agency.
All right, let me stop you there.
Okay.
Let's go back to the cabinet discussion. We will get to that part, and I'll allow you freedom to elaborate as much as possible. However, let's just understand the meeting of cabinet. So a CP, cabinet paper, came through one of the members of cabinet.
One of the members is the MOJ.
So the CP came from MOJ.
This one is by way of AOB. That is not a CP. That is any other business.
Yes.
Meaning that a particular cabinet member made a request for them to get tractors for the tertiary and higher education institutions so that they can be doing that for their agricultural purposes.
Did you say that the particular member was the Minister of Justice?
No, not the Minister of Justice.
Okay, that's
yes.
fine. That's fine. Do you want to disclose the member, or do you?
No, let's remain as it is. It's a member of cabinet.
All right.
It's already, yes, it's in the
I understand.
record.
It's in the records.
Thank you.
So it came as the last item of business on that particular.
That made a request.
Hold on. Do you know when? Do you recall what date the meeting was? That cabinet meeting?
I send the extract to you, unless you take the main records at the cabinet secretariat.
Yes, the extracts don't have the dates.
No,
they have the conclusions.
Yes, conclusion will have the date. Like I mentioned yesterday, cabinet meeting held 24th of August. Then conclusions is done, confirmation, any matters arising. Then extract are done after that. That ministers who presented papers agreed to the text that was recorded by the cabinet secretariat. And once it is confirmed at the cabinet meeting, then you do the extract and sign and send to the permanent secretary for their actions.
Okay, just Honorable Chair, just to guide the committee on where we are, the extracts we are referring to are EC, there should be EC7 or EC8 in the witnesses' submissions. There are extracts that are cabinet conclusions, and the heading for both of them, there are two of them. Both of them have a heading of auction of tractors by the Ghana Commission. One is labeled as Roman numeral 1, the other is Roman numeral 4. So, Mr. Ceesay,
yes,
you said you don't recall the date the meeting was held.
Once you engage the secretariat, they should be able to check and then give you the composite document. That will have.
But your answer is no. You don't
For
recall.
me, I cannot recall offhand.
All right. What if I try and jog your memory? The 21st of June, 2018, could that be it?
It's a long time. I can't.
You can't recall.
Yes.
Fair enough. So the suggestion came from a member of cabinet, and Honorable Chair, it will be apparent which member of cabinet once you read the conclusions. It came from a member of cabinet.
Requesting for tractors for the tertiary and higher education institutions for their agricultural purposes.
Okay. And it was discussed.
Yes.
Now I want to take you back to yesterday's testimony, where you mentioned your understanding of the commission's independence and cabinet's understanding. And if I'm correct, both you and cabinet as a whole thought of the commission as an independent body. These discussions, when they were happening, was the Minister of Justice in cabinet?
Yes.
Was there any advice to the body of cabinet with respect to the manner in which to approach the commission with these concerns?
I can't recall all what was said at the time. This is the extract that I share with you people.
But you were in cabinet at that time.
Yes, I was there.
And perhaps when it comes to the Jammeh Commission, this is perhaps the single most prominent time that you had an involvement with regards with the commission. So it's only one out of a series of involvements with the government that you had a role to play. I want to believe that even though it's a long time ago, you only had a role to play prominently in one incident, as per your testimony.
That is what I started to explain, but
yes,
at some point you asked me to stop.
I understand that. What I'm saying is that because it's one incident, you should have a good recollection of the incident. This is the only time you interacted with the commission.
Allow me to finish the narration.
We would get to your narration.
All right, thank you.
And eventually.
All right.
My question is, because it is the only time you had direct interaction with the commission, you should have a fair understanding of what happened.
This was discussed at the cabinet floor, and that's the extract I share with you. All the ministers had made their points on the issue, and then it was a suggestion, a particular minister requesting for tractors to be given to tertiary and higher education for their agricultural activities.
Great. What I wish to understand is, were there other weigh-ins of opinion once this AOB item was raised? Once the AOB item was raised by the member of cabinet, asking that the tractors be utilized for a specific purpose that will benefit Gambia or the government, yes, was there advice on the manner in which the government would approach the commission, since the government understood the commission to be an independent body?
You see, let me help you. In the cabinet discussions, when statements come from a particular minister, it's now the floor is open by the chairman, that's the president, and now every other minister that understand the matter, they will make their submissions. They will say something about it. This is how cabinet operates.
Great. Now, yes, I'm taking you back to that date. We don't remember the date, but for your information, we have asked for the minutes, and we will trace the date.
Okay.
What I wish to gain from you is particularly with the manner in which the cabinet would have approached the commission, whether that was discussed.
Usually, when it comes to issues of legal matters, the Minister of Justice will tell the cabinet that he will engage with the commission, but that's not the role of the secretary to the cabinet. That's not our responsibility. What we had written is what was discussed at the cabinet floor. So after minister engaging the cabinet, this commission, I'm not privy to that information.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Ceesay, today I want to leave much earlier than we did yesterday. So I don't know about you.
I'm on holiday, and
you have all the time.
I must summon the care. I'm on holiday.
Okay, you can summon him in your own time. But let's streamline our answers here, right? So it is clear, yes, that the Minister of Justice would be the one to advise.
Technician.
Yes, in legal matters. Good. That is clear.
Yes.
And as Secretary to Cabinet, you are the master of records, yes, of Cabinet.
Custodian.
Yes, the master.
Not
custodian.
The master, custodian.
You are the one who records every word that is said, every idea.
No, custodian. I want to graduate you. Don't use master, custodian.
I'm graduated. I will use custodian. Okay. That's what you understand.
Yes.
All right. I understand it as master, but I'll use your word today.
I'm not master. If you are master, meaning you know all the subject matters. And yesterday in the preamble, I stated that I created the paper review committee so that we'll have eminent permanent secretaries to support the cabinet office, because it's a very thin office, limited staff.
All right.
Yes.
So getting back to the question, and just to give you context, you are the custodian of the records of cabinet,
yes,
and you are the one who records, yes, what is said in cabinet.
Good.
And you do recall a cabinet meeting where an AOB item was raised, And that issue was discussed in cabinet.
A request from a particular member.
Of course. And it was discussed.
Yes.
Now, in that discussion, was there any brainstorming on the manner in which cabinet would approach the commission?
I mentioned that earlier to you, that these are general statements from the cabinet members. But the usual thing is that the Minister for Justice will listen to, we can consider these raw materials. So now the Minister of Justice will refine it, because he's having the direct contact with the commission. So what is stated at the cabinet will do our conclusion. But at the end of the day, we have to send the extract to those ministries, like the one who stated it is, let's say, higher education, then Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Justice, because it is the one that is having direct contact with the commission. So there he is now going to see with the team how to approach the commission. That's the point I told you, that I did not know how they approach the commission from cabinet level.
So my question is not that you know how they approach the commission. My question is limited to that day, whether approaching the commission was discussed and how to approach the commission. Was it discussed?
No, what Mr. Tambari mentioned is that I will get to the commissioners and then discuss the matter with them. That's what he mentioned at the meeting.
Okay, so in the meeting of cabinet, the discussion, the Minister of Justice proposed
at the time
that he would approach the commissioners directly.
Yes.
Okay. And this resonated with the understanding of cabinet.
Yes, and even for the CRC, Constitutional Review Commission, we do have, when they submitted the draft to the cabinet, we had several meetings for us also to look at it and then filter what we want from cabinet level. And this is communicated to the Ministry of Justice. So this is a technical writing. Minister of Justice will take care of that. Cabinet Secretary do not have any action to do with that. This is legal writing.
No, let's not get there. I want to don't run away from the responsibility. I know you don't have responsibility with respect to that.
Mr. Counsel, I want to enlighten you more.
You have enlightened me a lot. Okay. But I also don't want you to run away from any responsibility.
No.
You understand the rules quite clearly. But so my question now is,
yes,
the minister had mentioned that he would approach the commission directly, the commissioners directly, not the commission.
Any matter that is raised about the commission.
I'm not concerned about any matter. I'm zeroing in this particular matter
for the
auctioning of the tractors.
Okay.
So the minister mentioned that he would approach the commissioners.
Yes.
And of course, you had already mentioned that cabinet perceived the commission as an independent commission.
Yes.
And yet, you also perceive the commission as an independent commission that you cannot interfere with or influence. And cabinet agreed to allow the Minister of Justice to approach the commissioners directly. Do you find that abnormal?
It can be seen abnormal because they are already in office taking the oaths. But this is an appeal. It's not something that you are imposing on them. That is why the minister stated that he's going to meet with them and will come back to report to the executive, that is the president, whether the request made by the particular minister for them to have tractors for their agricultural purposes for their tertiary and higher education institutions, whether it is possible or not. It's not something that we will impose on the commission.
So you maintain that it was not...
it's not an imposition.
You maintain that the
independency...
Mr. Ceesay, I'll have to finish my sentence before you actually answer.
Okay.
You need to allow me to finish my sentences. You can't budge in this way.
Go ahead.
All right. So it was understood that the commission was independent, but yet Cabinet agreed for the Minister of Justice to directly contact the commissioners and communicate that Cabinet decision, the Cabinet conclusion, as per your submissions, to the Commission. Correct?
That is what I informed you earlier.
Yes.
That issues are discussed, and then the Minister of Justice will tell the Cabinet, his colleagues, I'll check with my commissioners and I'll come back to you. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, and that was normal.
That is normal.
That is normal.
Meaning you are not imposing anything on them.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine. So it was for the Minister of Justice to...
That is having direct contact with them.
Was this done by the Minister of Justice?
Yes.
And he reported back to Cabinet?
No, these tractors were never given to my knowledge. I am not aware that the higher education and tertiary institutions benefited from tractors.
I'm not sure which question you're answering, because I did not ask that question.
No, you said the minister. Did the minister report to Cabinet? That is what I'm talking about.
Yes. Did the minister report back to Cabinet?
That is the point here. I'm not aware of that one, that he has report back to Cabinet.
So I'm struggling to take that answer, because you are the Secretary to Cabinet.
Yes.
If the minister reported back to Cabinet, you would know, because you would take that record.
Let me help you, counsel, in this case. That is why we have the submissions 1 and 2. That statements can be made in Cabinet, and the minister will go and see the commission. But the next time, this issue is not discussed in Cabinet again. That's why you don't have the third portion of it. That's my submission.
Your submission is that it was discussed in Cabinet as a conclusion.
Yes.
And for the minister to go and request them to see a way forward,
exactly,
as you put it.
Yes.
And that request, if it indeed was a request, the natural thing to do, common sense would dictate that once you have requested, there will be a response to that request, and that response would be now communicated to the principal who asked you to make that request. Isn't that the natural sequence of things? Yes or no?
That was not communicated at the Cabinet floor.
That's not my question.
Yes.
The question is...
No, that's... Sorry,
No. I need you to help me on what I need to be helped with.
From my understanding, it was not mentioned in the Cabinet.
Mr. Ceesay.
Yes.
Let's have decorum.
Okay.
When I ask a question, I need an answer to that question. And I will stick to my questions until they are answered. I will not shift until they are answered.
I'm available for
it. That's fine.
Thank you.
It seems the holiday is so long. You don't care if you're here till 6. All right, that's fine. My question is in relation to reporting back. You mentioned that Cabinet asked Ministry of Justice, or rather the Minister of Justice informed Cabinet that he would speak to the commissioners and see the possibility of any halting of the tractor sales, correct?
Yes.
And the natural thing to do is for the minister to go to the commission, make that request, get the response, and relay that response back to whoever instructed him to make the request in the first place. Isn't that the natural thing to do?
Yes,
that's in order.
That's in order.
So was that done?
That must have been done between the minister and the principal, not at the Cabinet. That's what I stated earlier.
The principal I'm talking about here is the body of Cabinet, because it is not any person who instructed the minister to go and request your testimony. It is Cabinet as a whole. And you mentioned that there were debates from several ministries. It is Cabinet as a whole who went who requested the minister to go to the commission and make that request.
Counsel, let me make it simple for you. Cabinet issues are not any common thing. Certain issues are discussed. The Minister of Justice will come and inform the principal alone. That is the president,
the principal,
the president, the chairman. So for the case of this, the issue has not come back to cabinet. If it is there, you will see in the records.
So you confirm that the issue did not come back to cabinet?
I'm not aware of it.
Okay. Why did cabinet feel it was necessary to halt the sales when the matter was already before the commission?
Based on the request of their colleague for the purposes of agricultural activities at their tertiary and higher education institutions, here we are referring to Gambia College and University of the Gambia.
When you say colleague, who do you mean?
The cabinet members, ministers, he made that request as the minister responsible for this sector.
And whose colleague are they?
His colleagues as cabinet members.
Yes, but Mr. Ceesay, my question related to why cabinet felt it necessary to halt the auction sales when the commission was already abreast with the issue.
That is to respond to the request from one of the members for agricultural purposes at the tertiary institutions.
So I want us to reconcile that, what you have just said, with the fact that cabinet envisioned an independent body.
Yes.
You still envision that this is an independent body, but you have made a decision as the highest office in the land to put a halt to the proceedings of that commission. How do you reconcile that?
This is a part of commission's activity. That is the auctioning of the tractors. Commission is continuing their activities. This is a portion that I'm making clear to you. So as the minister responsible that made the request at the time, whether tertiary institutions and higher educations can benefit from these tractors before they are finished, that's the time the issue came about, and then discussions continue. And then Minister then of Justice stated that he need to check with them so that they can see whether tractors can be available to the particular sectors, institutions.
Again, my question remains that cabinet saw the commission as independent, but sought to interfere with their work. You say it's just a small part of their work, but it's their work nonetheless. It's the commission's work. How do you reconcile that?
I'm not seeing the issue of interference. I stated that the minister informed the meeting that he is going to check with the commission whether it's going to be possible to halt and then also for those institutions to benefit from the tractors.
So the minister informed that they informed cabinet that he is going to check and do what? Check and do what? And see whether it's possible.
Yes.
Right. And after he sees whether it's possible, what does he do?
He will report to the president about the matter, not the entire cabinet.
So is that the understanding of cabinet, that he would report to the president, not cabinet?
He will report to the president about some of the issues as the chief technician on legal matters, whether what was requested by a particular colleague is possible or not.
But the issue was raised in cabinet.
Yes.
The issue emanated from cabinet.
Yes.
And cabinet was the instructing body for the minister to pursue a certain inquiry. And once the minister had inquired on that issue, wouldn't it be appropriate that cabinet is the body that is informed?
Mr. Deva, I can take any format in this case. That is why I say business in cabinet is not any other business you may think about. And yesterday I informed you to take the revised edition of 2022. So business in cabinet, you can have certain issues and discuss directly with the chairman of the cabinet.
The revised edition 2022 will not apply in this case because this is an issue that happened in 2018. So the revised edition would not come into play. My concern is, yesterday you elaborated on cabinet conclusions. When cabinet conclusions are made, you you caption them. You take the relevant portions and send them to the relevant institutions, ministries, the ministries concerned, correct?
Yes, that's the...
Now, the extract that you provided to the committee, that is EC7, the extract that you provided to the committee are such conclusions from cabinet. Now, they are cabinet conclusions. They were not instructions from the chairperson, but rather cabinet conclusions. And those conclusions were then sent to the different ministries. And those ministries are supposed to be the ministries that take action. Now, I remember yesterday when we were discussing the issue of follow-ups, and you had clarified that the Secretary to Cabinet does not follow up in the way perhaps we envision the ordinary follow-ups. But the Secretary to Cabinet will follow up by ensuring that there is a report back to Cabinet, correct?
Yes.
Now, the Cabinet conclusion was made. One of the conclusions was for the Minister of Justice to request from the Commission. Why was there no report back to Cabinet?
That's the point I stated to you, that after that meeting, there was no other issue about this tractor.
I understand that.
Okay.
That you made very clear.
Good.
My question is, why was there no other meeting?
When the minister is around, he can respond to that, because that is where I stop as Secretary to Cabinet. We have our limitation. When the minister is assigned by the head of state on certain matters, he can report directly to the president. Not the cabinet secretary to go and find out from the minister.
Mr. Ceesay, I'm trying to be as courteous to you as possible and very respectful to you.
That's what I'm saying.
I am not asking the minister.
Okay.
With all due respect to you, I'm asking you, as cabinet secretary, wasn't it strange? Why was there no other meeting to report the findings, the conclusions of cabinet?
That is what I stated to you, Mr. Counsel. I said after that, this matter was not discussed at the cabinet again.
I understand that it was not discussed.
Good.
My question is not whether it was discussed or not. You made that clear, that it wasn't discussed.
Then,
my question is why it wasn't brought back to cabinet, because that is the modus operandi as you explained it yesterday. You taught me very well, my teacher, and I was listening. So why wasn't that the modus operandi that was used in this instance?
Mr. Deva, the point here is, that's what I started narrating to you earlier this morning, that after that meeting, the minister had to go to this commission to check with them. And then he'll make that, submission to them. This is what was discussed. And this is the request from the executive branch of the government, that they will need certain tractors for the agricultural purposes in tertiary and higher education institutions. So then the need for them to halt, that is to stop these tractor sales. And then thereafter, that was the other day when my superior, the then Secretary General, called me to contact the executive secretary of the commission.
Mr. Ceesay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We will get there.
Okay.
Why is the question?
That's the why statement I'm responding to.
Yes, I understand that.
The minister has not come back to cabinet on the matter. That's my understanding.
That's your understanding?
Yes.
He did not come back to cabinet?
No.
And you are speculating, or you know for sure that...
No, I'm not speculating.
Let me land. Are you speculating, or do you know for sure when you say that the minister reported back to his principal, as you earlier stated?
Yes.
Yes, what? Are you sure, or are you speculating?
He reported to the principal. That is the moment when my superior then, the Secretary General, invited me to his office.
Who reported to the superior?
The Minister of Justice then.
And when you say superior, who do you mean?
The president here.
So the minister reported to the president?
Yes.
You know this?
Yes.
As a matter of fact?
Yes.
And
but I don't know what they discussed.
Did the minister report to the member of cabinet who actually requested it?
No, you don't report to the individual member. You report the matter when it is discussed, the next cabinet updates was not there. So what he did was to report directly to the president.
So what he did, was it right or was it wrong?
It can happen at any given time. There are matters when the particular minister can report to the president directly on issues.
But clearly this was not one such matter. This matter was cabinet who instructed the minister to make a request and come back to cabinet. So the minister not doing that, was that appropriate? Was it appropriate to go to the president directly instead?
Expedite the matter because of the sales was on. So, and before the next cabinet meeting, he can report to the president directly.
And that report, is it done in writing or in just verbally?
That one is by appointment at the level of the protocol division to meet the president. So I don't know whether it was in writing or is verbal.
Okay. Now, of course, with regards to the commission would not be. It will be out of the ordinary for the commission to come to cabinet and speak for itself. But of course, the commission would be able to speak for itself through the minister. Now, my question was whether the position of the commission was put to cabinet at any time, whether during this period that we're discussing or after this period.
That was communicated to me by my then superior, Secretary General, that called me, that come and call the Executive Secretary to the Commission. What was discussed about the sales of tractors so that they can halt the auctioning of tractors.
And when your superior gave you these instructions as secretary to the cabinet, what legal authority did you believe he or cabinet had to put a stop to the commission's activities?
That is the point I stated to you, because the executive, with the advice of the legal chief technician of legal matters, will always advise the executive on the matters of these transitional justice systems. So in this case, the legality of it is based on the independence of that body as far as this one is concerned.
And the chief legal advisor would be the Minister of Justice.
Right.
And of course, it is natural for him to be the one to interface with them, of course.
Exactly.
And that's precisely why cabinet told him, go ahead, they're under your administration.
He's the only one that's having direct contact with them.
He's the only one that's having direct contact with them.
Exactly.
Great. And he is the one that reported back to whoever he reported back, that the commission. And what did he report back, since you are sure that he reported back?
I can only know little of it when my superior called me to contact the executive secretary then of the Jammeh'S Commission, of the defunct Jammeh'S Commission, to stop the sales of tractors at MSA, Kotu Workshop. Then I realized that an action has been taken by the Minister of Justice.
And you personally conveyed those verbal instructions to the commission secretary?
First, we called him persistently, we couldn't reach him.
Who is we?
Myself and the SG.
You called him persistently?
Yes.
Let's stop there for a minute. Now, here is an issue that was first raised in cabinet by an AOB. My outsider's point of view is that cabinet instructed the Minister of Justice to interface with the commission for them to give him an idea of whether that request was feasible or not. The minister has assumably interfaced with the commission and come back not to cabinet, which is the first anomaly in my books.
Okay.
And secondly, he went and reported to his superior. Now, that interface with his superior, again, from an outsider's point of view, I would think that if anybody was sanctioned to contact the commission and tell them to put an immediate stop to the activities, it would be the Minister of Justice, because he's the natural point of contact between the commission and the government. But here is the Secretary to Cabinet and the Secretary General directly making phone calls. Who are you making phone calls to?
To the Executive Secretary then.
To the Secretary. And who was the Executive Secretary?
Mr. Kurang Mamadi.
Al-Haji Mamadi Kurang.
Yeah.
So this is the office of the President directly calling the Secretary to the Commission. Didn't you find that strange?
Based on the instruction from my superior.
So didn't you? What I'm asking is whether you, Mr. Ceesay, found that strange.
I say based on the instruction of my superior, as I stated the organogram, you have to go by the decorum of the office. That when your superior assign you on the principles of public administration, then you have to go by that.
My question is, did you find that activity you and your superior were undergoing strange? Contacting the Secretary to the Commission from State House. Did you find that strange?
It can be seemingly strange.
I'm not asking you for an opinion. No. I'm asking you as a matter of fact, whether you, as the Secretary to Cabinet, found that strange.
It can be seen as strange, but what
Mr. Ceesay, I don't want to know what it can be.
Close-ended statement.
I want you to tell me what you felt, whether it is strange or not.
You want yes or no answer.
Please, yes or no, and then you can elaborate.
Okay. Yes.
It was strange. Do you want to elaborate? Because
yes.
It seems like you wanted to say something.
Yes. Okay. There, after the meeting of the two, and attended by the Secretary General, that is the Minister of Justice and the President. Secretary General is usually invited to attend such meetings. Then from there, my superior, then Secretary General, invited me to his office. This is what we are assigned to do, that we need to call the Secretariat for them to stop the sales of tractors. That is the point.
But it was strange.
I've already responded to that.
And you said yes.
Yes.
Yes. And your instructions from your superior, when you say your superior, you mean the Secretary General. Yes. Who was the Secretary General at the time?
Mr. Habib Drame.
Mr. Habib Drame.
Yes.
And you mentioned that he called you in his office. Was the Minister of Justice present?
No.
It was just yourself and...
Two of us.
Okay. And it was your feeling that the Minister of Justice had just briefed himself and the President?
The principal.
So the Minister of Justice was still in the building when you were called?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge?
Yes.
All right. And you began, when you were instructed, were you instructed to call initially, or did he call you to discuss something and then he began to call? Who called first?
I was called to his office, SG's office, and he presented all the issues to me, and then he asked me to call the Executive Secretary. So when I called, we cannot reach out to him. Using the Secretary General's phone, we cannot reach out to Mr. Kurang. Then that's the time.
So hold on, Mr. Ceesay, that needs to be clear. You just mentioned he instructed you to call the Secretary.
Yes.
And you called the Secretary.
Yes.
But you also said using his phone. Which one is it? Is it who called? And when I say who called, I don't mean who was dialing whose phone was used?
Based on the SG's instruction, I called the Executive Secretary.
Through your own phone?
No, through SG's phone.
Okay.
Yes.
So SG gave you his phone?
To call the ES.
Call the ES.
Yes.
All right.
To pass the instruction to him.
Okay. Whose number he had already? Would you know how?
I don't know how he got the number.
Did you have his number?
No.
And that's perhaps why you had to use You have to use the Secretary General's phone.
Any number we need, we can just relate to our secretariat. They will give us the number. We don't need to have all the numbers in our phones.
That's fine. But this particular one was in the phone.
It's not in my phone.
You called and there was no answer. And then what else happened after that? Was there a resolution or an instruction from your superior for you to write?
No, he asked me to go up to the site, that is MSC, to relay the message to him.
So that is because the auctions were going on imminently at that same time.
Exactly.
And the cabinet meeting was just days before that incident.
Days after.
Sorry, days after, rather. Days after that incident.
Thank you.
So once the minister reported back, cabinet felt there was no time. Isn't it the case that perhaps the commission had already communicated with the Minister of Justice, because cabinet asked the Minister of Justice to relay a request to the commission, and the Minister of Justice assumably did that and came back to report to his superiors, including in addition to the Secretary General. Couldn't it be the case that the commission already heard that request but dismissed it because it was of the opinion that it could not be influenced by government? And if government wanted to approach the commission, the government has legal advisors, and the legal advisors would advise on the appropriate manner in which to approach the commission on those requests. And perhaps that's why the auction as scheduled was to go on. Isn't that the case?
Mr. Counsel, that is not the case. The point here is, at the time the then minister met with the president, the Secretary General invited me to his office. That is when we started the action by the then ES of the defunct Jammeh'S Commission.
Sorry, Mr. Ceesay, 1 second. Okay. Secretary, if we could help the witness change the mic. The mic seems...
You cannot hear properly?
It's jumping.
Okay. Okay. Is this one okay? Counsel?
Yes, it is.
It's all right? Okay. So what I'm trying to explain in response to statement here is that the time the then minister met the president and the Secretary General is also invited to president's office on the same issue. And then there, the Secretary General invited me to his office. And then we made phone call to the then ES, the Executive Secretary of the defunct Jammeh'S Commission, and the sales of tractors. When we cannot get him on the phone persistently, I was instructed by my superior, that's SG, to go up to the site, that is MSA, Kotu Workshop, to meet with the gentleman, Mr. Mamadi Koran, to relay the message to him from Secretary General. And then when I met him, he said he's not going to take verbal instruction. In fact, I don't even know Mr. Koran.
All right, can we stop there for now? My question was that the point is that Cabinet had instructed the Minister of Justice to go and make a request. Now, the Minister of Justice reported back, correct?
Yes.
Isn't it obvious that what he reported back was that it was not possible for the commission to be influenced by cabinet?
That is what I'm telling you. To my level, the minister's discussion or engagement with the commission after the time he reported to the president, I'm not privy to that.
I understand that you're not privy to that. However,
okay.
You are a very seasoned administrator. I want you to draw conclusions from the events as they sequence. The first event is that Cabinet instructed Minister to go and make a request. The second event is that, assumably, the Minister made that request. The third event is that, assumably, the Minister reported back to the Chairperson and the Secretary General. Correct?
Yes.
Well, I'm correct till there, right? Mm-hmm. But yet still, the Commission went ahead with its sales.
No, he did not report back to Secretary General and President. He reported to the President. Secretary General is invited as part of the audience.
Fine.
Thank you.
Fine, that is fine. But do you get the point I'm driving?
Go ahead. Thank you.
You did not get the point. It flew over you. You chose
I'm clear with
to
you.
deal with semantics.
I'm clear with you.
So that's why. You chose to deal with semantics and rather than understand my question.
No, I'm not English lecturer.
Okay.
I'm management
Please listen
lecturer.
this time. I'll repeat it one more time.
All right.
Right?
Thank you.
The first event was Minister being requested by Cabinet to request for that process to be halted. The second, assumably, the second event would be Minister making that interface with the Commission. Thirdly, assumably, confirmed by you, the Minister reporting to the President in the presence of the Secretary General. Correct? Now,
Yes.
the fourth event, which I want you to now contrast to all those three events. The fourth event is the Commission deciding to continue as planned its auctions, as it advertised. That's the fourth event.
Yes.
Wasn't that obvious that it's obvious that the Minister reported back, and he cannot report back in thin air. He has to engage them before he reports back. Correct?
Yes.
Now, isn't it clear that the reporting back was that the Commission was going to continue with its sales? It has considered Cabinet's requests. Perhaps it doesn't see Cabinet's requests in the same light as Cabinet does, and it continued the sales. Couldn't that be the inference?
It can be seen that way, but what I want to help you in this case is that it's a very thin line that you have to draw from your point 1 to 4. And I'll give you a very sharp contrast between the points so that we can make progression. Here the point is when the Minister then went to engage the Commission.
Please draw closer to the mic.
Sorry.
Sorry for...
No, it's all right. When the Minister, it's okay now? All right. When the Minister of Justice went to meet the Commission and discuss the matter with them, it can be several instructions from his principal, that's the President. But one of such, I believe, was this tractor auction. So when he came back to the President and the Secretary General is invited to that audience, so there from the Secretary General invited me to his office and giving me the instruction to engage the ES, that's the Executive Secretary of the defunct Jammeh'S Commission, to hold the sales of tractors. So your other point here is that you are stating whether the Commission remained defiant to the executive request, okay, not to hold the sales of tractors. Is that your point?
Well, my point was not defiance, but I like that you used the word defiance because as you speak, the intention of Cabinet comes out.
Okay.
Because you can only defy an order. Because you had mentioned it was a request to see if it was feasible, it was possible.
Yes,
Yeah.
but notwithstanding, the actions still continue unabated.
Exactly.
Yes.
So wouldn't that send a clear message to Cabinet that we have considered your request, we beg to differ, and we are continuing with our sales? Isn't that the conclusion, the natural conclusion?
That is one thing, but the other point is that the Minister engaging the chief executive of the country, the President, and in the presence of SG, that's the point what was discussed there, up to the point SG called me to his office to instruct me to carry out this assignment.
We're not there yet. In fact, we're stopping at precisely where your superior, before instructing you, left, assumably, the president's office. From that meeting with the president, where he was observing the Minister of Justice report to the president. That's the point we are. When you were instructed now to call, of course, the Secretary General would have told you that I just came out from a meeting with the president and
usually that is the case. Every morning when he's out, he will call me, come, and then
he will brief you.
Yes, and then like I mentioned to you yesterday, when you are meeting your superior in public service, you have to go with your notebook to do some gettings, to take notes.
And of course, yes, knowing you, Mr. Ceesay, you are very vigilant. You definitely went with your notebook, didn't you? Correct?
I'm a teacher. I have to go with my notebook.
Fantastic. You see, you went with your notebook. He told you that he was in a meeting with the president and the Minister of Justice. And he must have told you what occurred in that meeting.
All the points discussed is related to me as action officer.
So then why was it that you initially had mentioned that you're not sure what was discussed by the president and the SG?
No. The other issues, they don't detail that one to you. Only the action points are related to you. Discussion can take longer. So I'm not privy to all that discussion.
Did the SG tell you why there was a need to interface with the commission directly as State House?
That's the instruction I received from SG.
Yes, but was the instruction given context?
It's to hold the sales of tractors.
Was it given context? And context here will mean that naturally, when you're speaking as two persons, office holders,
yes,
I would envision, if I were in your shoes, I would envision that you were summoned to his office and he had made clear to you that I just came from a meeting with the president and the Minister of Justice where he updated us on that request. Remember that request in cabinet? And he would have told you, I think you even did conclusions to that effect, right? Yes. The minister said such and such. I would be very surprised if that was not mentioned in your meeting. So what that's such and such. The minister, this is what the minister relayed to the president. Are you telling this committee that that was not told to you by your superior?
And that's the instruction I've just relayed to you, that we should call the executive secretary.
Before the instruction, there's context as to why that minister. Hold on. Before your instructions were given to you, there must be context given to you as to what necessitates those instructions. Now, that must have been given to you by your superior when he narrates what occurred in the meeting. Your superior will not just tell you, okay, we just came from a meeting with the president and the Minister of Justice, and I need you to call the secretary to the commission. That is a huge jump. Already, cabinet has identified that the Minister of Justice is the contact officer between the commission and the government. So I find it difficult if you want to tell the committee that you were not told the rationale for why you needed to contact the secretary yourselves.
Mr. Deva, you keep on navigating, and as we meander, we will not make some progress like I suggest to you. This is executive level of the government. Some of these things, I know the local content, it was discussed in the cabinet. So it's work in progress. So when the minister and the president and SG had discussion, and SG come down to call me to relay that message, I feel that there is no need to make recollections or telling the SG, give me reorientation, because already the thing had begun in the cabinet. So here, as matter of public administration, you now wait for what next. You know, public administrators are soldiers ready for combat. What next? But you don't ask the general, what are the war strategies, ABC? That's not going to help you in this regard.
Have you ever been a soldier? Have you ever been a soldier?
I was a good scout boy.
I'm happy you stopped at Cowboy, because I believe you would have died very early in combat if you don't know your strategy.
How do you know?
If you don't know your strategy for combat, you didn't ask your superior about your strategy for combat.
Those things
You
are
will die very early in combat.
Mr. Counsel, those things are communicated to you. You have to know the needs for, conspiracy theory and all those things.
So now, it's because those things are communicated to you. That's why I wish
So you don't
for you
need to repeat that one.
Okay, so I wish for you to enlighten the committee on the context before your instructions.
Ask the committee whether they are interested to be enlightened through the Are you interested?
I am the mouthpiece of the committee. With all due respect, Mr. Ceesay, I am the mouthpiece of the committee. I am telling you the committee is interested in hearing why. And I believe maybe we have made this session a bit informal, and I am smiling and you are smiling, but this question is very serious.
Okay.
And it requires an answer from you.
All right.
And I insist.
All right. So can you reproduce it again? Let me listen to you, and I take it from
what was the context given to you as to why you needed to directly contact the commission from State House and not from Ministry of Justice?
Yes, as I mentioned in this submission, and to the Honorable Chair and members here, that
Please speak to the mic. I know perhaps maybe you might want to lean back. That's perfectly fine, but bring the mic closer to you.
Sorry. That the Secretary General at the time invited me to his office and then informed me this what was discussed when the Minister of Justice, met with the President and he was there, that the Minister had met with the Commission and relayed this message to them, and I'm instructed for us to contact myself and SG to contact.
You're jumping.
What person?
Why? What did the minister tell the president in the presence of your superior? What is the synopsis of why the sales continued?
No, that is the point I'm trying to arrive at. Okay?
Okay, arrive then.
Yes, so when the Secretary General invited me to his office, he relayed to me what they had discussed at that point.
And what was that?
Highlights of what is happening at the level of the commission.
What were those?
That the minister had relayed the message to the commissioners for the sales of tractors to halt, and then SG told me that we need to call them.
You're jumping again. You're jumping again. We can't jump from the minister has relayed the information. Yes. Upon relating that information, what was the reaction of the commission? That is the question, Mr. Ceesay. And we're not moving from that question.
I'm not hearing you that until when the SG told me that he need to call, when we called the executive secretary, that is what I was stating earlier. When we called the executive secretary, we couldn't reach him. Then he asked.
Before that, the SG told you that the Minister of Justice has relayed our request.
Relayed
our request to the commission, correct?
Yes.
What did the SG say that the minister relayed was the response of the commission?
That the executive secretary is already at the side, and the care of the commission said they will relay the message to him. Okay? So once that was on, then the Secretary General also asked me to call the Executive Secretary to halt, because it's an urgent assignment from the President.
Do you wish to tell us that cabinet meeting was on that day as well?
No meeting.
Yes, but the cabinet meeting was on days prior, correct?
No meeting that particular day, Mr. Counsel.
So are you saying that the Minister of Justice met with the commissioners on that day?
No, after. When the cabinet meeting was held, then the minister...
Did the minister meet with the commissioners on the day he reported to the president?
No, it's not the same day. Sometimes he can meet with them and then come to the president the same day.
I don't want...
Yes.
I don't want you to give me alternatives.
In this particular instant, he went to the commission. After the cabinet meeting, he met with the commission. And then thereafter, the following day, he come to the presidency and then report what he had discussed with them in the presence of SG.
Do you know do you remember the date that you were called by your superior to give to call
should be within the range of this cabinet conclusion.
Do you remember the date?
No.
It was the 26th or 27th of June.
Okay.
Do you remember the date of the cabinet meeting?
It should be in the conclusion there.
It is. It was the 21st. So 5 days in between.
Okay.
Correct? Are you telling us that the minister reported on the same day the sale was being conducted?
When the sales,
Because the issue was raised in cabinet, so cabinet knew when the sales will begin, and that would be the 26th, correct?
No, Mr. Deva, the sales was on. It was ongoing until a particular minister made a request. That's what I did mention earlier, that they need some tractors, because it's a community. People will happen to hear things, and then someone will, the principals in those colleges or university, the VC, might relate to the minister then that we need some tractors for our agricultural purposes. So that is why the minister made mention of that in the cabinet meeting. But the sales was already on.
All right, so the sales were already on. The minister came on one of the faithful days and relayed the communication from the commission, correct?
Yes.
He relayed the communication from the commission to the president.
Yes.
And the SG was there. And after that, I'm sure there were action points that SG should have taken up from the president.
Yes.
Now, when SG called you in, what did SG say was that information that was relayed by the Minister of Justice to the president?
That the minister was here, he discussed this issue of tractor sales with the president in my presence.
And what did the minister tell the president?
That
it could be one of two things. So we are spending a lot of time on this question, but I would need an answer from you. It could be one of two things. The SG told you, we need to call Mr. Alhaji Mamadi Quran because the minister has relayed that the commission will not listen to our request, or we need to call the Alhaji Mamadi Quran because the minister said he could not get in contact with the commissioners. Which one is it?
it's possible, but
I don't want possibility.
No,
I want to know what warranted your phone call to Mr. Alhaji Mamadi Quran.
that is the instruction from my superior.
And your instructions, were they just blanket instructions or there was context given to your instructions?
The context here is for sales of tractors to halt, to stop.
But that assignment was already given to the Minister of Justice in your presence.
And he reported to the president on the matter.
And when you were told to jump into the stead of the Minister of Justice and interact with the commission directly, did that question ring in your head to say somebody was assigned to do this already?
No, this is matter of public administration, Mr. Counsel. These instructions are given to you and you have the assignment to carry out. That's the point here. From others who are outside the public administration, you might not understand some of these issues, how it works. But when your superior call and assign you, even you look at the way we do the wording of letters, we always put there, I am directed, meaning it's not from you. You don't initial it. It's not coming from you. It's being directives that is given to you. And this is how public administration works. And that's the forum you are talking about.
All right. I am going to take issue with that statement. Okay. I do not have the number of years you have in public administration, and I would not in any way say I might know even more than you on any issue of public administration. But my understanding of these roles, and the reason I also take issue with you, and I flag two things that you have said, that the commission did not heed to your directive. They were defiant to your directive. That word defiant rings out. And also, when you say that in public administration, when you're instructed, you do as your superior tells you, and you assimilated that to soldiers in a battlefield. And for me, I would tell you, Mr. Ceesay, that is as far as an assimilation that I would put. In fact, we could not be so different from soldiers.
Okay.
We ask questions as administrators. You know why you're acting, because how do you act on behalf of somebody if you don't understand your instructions? You are directed to do something. Of course, the instructions will fall from your superior, but you need to understand your instructions. You don't just get up and follow up on directions without knowing the head or the tail. And if that is the practice of public administration at the office of the president, then perhaps we as a committee need to weigh in on that, because that is very irregular. As a senior member of the president's office, the office of the president rather, you ought to know why you are being instructed to do certain things. And I believe, it is my belief that you actually do know why this was instructed to you. What do you say to that?
The point here I'm mentioning is that as Secretary to the Cabinet, you are under the Secretary General in the reporting line. And when he assigned you, as you mentioned, we discussed matters. And this one was already discussed at the Cabinet level. The next level is that he assigned me to contact this individual on this matter. It's not something that you don't know what you are doing. But as the public administration entails, is based on decorum, the politeness at workplace, that you have to work with the superior and support them, whatever they are assigned to do.
Support them, I agree. And you both have your TORs. Your TORs will spell out what you can and cannot do. Now, when your superior assigns you a task that you cannot do, don't you take issue with that?
What do you mean by you cannot do? Can you give an example that you cannot do?
An example would be this SG telling you to go and institute a criminal proceedings in the courts. Would that be an order that you would blindly take?
Or that is highly,
because of politeness and decorum?
No, that is highly abnormal, unless your SG is insane. Okay. And you need to know.
So in this particular instance, let's come back to this particular instance.
Okay.
Who is the member of cabinet who interfaces with the Jammeh Commission?
It's the Minister of Justice.
The Minister of Justice is the one who administratively who issues the commission with the funds that they need.
And the Minister of Justice,
who issues them with stationery when they need?
They have their secretariat.
And who do their secretariat approach?
Their secretariat, they have their issues. I'm not private to those information. But I know they have their full secretariat. The other day, I was listening to my DPS Ramusar, and then they handle the issue of budget and so on. All the ES, they are responsible for that. They have their budget.
She was a deputy permanent secretary for whom?
At the Ministry of Justice.
At the Ministry of Justice. So it would be the Ministry of Justice who would then facilitate that stationery for them.
I believe based on the request from Secretariat.
And if the commissioners have concerns, who do they approach?
They should talk to the Secretariat, I believe, and then relay the matter to the
Ministry of Justice.
Yes.
Right. And your answer is very consistent. It is the ministry on every single interface with the government. It is the Ministry of Justice. And rightly so, Cabinet understood that and asked the Minister of Justice to request the commissioners. I'm not saying that was the right thing to do. In fact, I take issue with that. But to request the commissioners to put a halt on an activity. That was right. In accordance with the relevant institution that interfaces with the commission. Now, in this particular instance, it is the SG and the Secretary to Cabinet who are making a phone call to Mr. Alhaji Mamadi Kurang,
Yes.
not the MOJ. Why the shift? Didn't that ring a bell in your head to say, this is strange, why don't we just tell the Minister of Justice, as we always have, and take the normal operation style?
Mr. Diba?
Mr. Ceesay?
Yes, what I want to take you through is that,
Please.
based on the issue of public administration, when your superior assign you, I'm not the only one. He could have called any permanent secretary or myself, but I was the one who was assigned that particular day to execute this activity. So I don't see within the remix of public administration to redirect my superior on matters that was assigned to him also from the top. That will be.
So what you're telling the committee is, what is normal for you is to heed to all instructions from your superior, no matter what instruction.
Except the one you mentioned as an example.
Except that one.
Yes. Can you reproduce that one?
Can I reproduce another one?
Reproduce the earlier version.
I will reproduce another one.
Yes.
If your superior asks you to come and slap me, lead counsel, here, would you do it?
My response was, I will see the superior might have some mental defects.
Okay.
And these are not within civil service.
Great.
That will not be a very proper.
It will not be proper, right?
Yes, exactly.
Fantastic. Now, let's go back to your testimony yesterday. When I asked, does the Secretary to Cabinet do follow-ups? What did you say?
No, we follow up based on the updates we get from cabinet meetings, from sector ministers. That was my subject.
What was your response when I mentioned that you would be tasked to follow up?
No, I mentioned that by way of sending conclusions, then the next cabinet meeting will ask the minister whether there is any update. If there is no update, we phase out that particular topic from the agenda. Yes. Are you with me?
I'm always with you, sir.
Okay, now I see you are.
I'm instructing them to do something. Yes, okay. I mean, I'm also giving instructions, just like the SG did.
Okay.
Yes.
But that is different one.
Okay. So anyway, to be more serious, the SG asked you to make a phone call. From what you explained to the committee yesterday, is that part of your TOR?
SG can assign you anytime to do phone calls, or like I mentioned to you yesterday, to recast you to those points. We do have cabinet retreat, we have permanent secretary's retreat, and SG will call you as the most senior officer next to him in the absence of DSG, that is Deputy Secretary General. Will ask you to form a task force to organize a particular event like the cabinet retreat, and during COVID-19 we do it virtual. And during those meetings, I was the moderator for the meetings. So giving you verbal instructions and also making phone calls is normal of civil service, though to make IT as a way of enhancement of our activities. Like I said, when the president used to travel, my secretary will call all ministers for airport ceremonies. Then there used to be airport ceremonies. Okay? When the president is gone, seeing him off and when welcoming him. But in this case, we created a cabinet WhatsApp group, which will fast track sending information. The moment we drop, everybody will know about it.
And that is a record. Yeah. That is a record.
Yes,
but it's not a verbal instruction. The WhatsApp messages are recorded, right?
But you can also make phone calls.
Follow up. From your testimony yesterday, what you said was,
you don't follow.
Let me come. What you said was, they are mostly written instructions. Sometimes you do get verbal instructions, but you always have your paper and your book. Sorry, your book and your pen. Your notebook, right? And you will metamorphose those verbal instructions in one way or the other into written written instructions, whether at the point of action or otherwise. Correct?
There also, I mentioned this to you yesterday. I said, for example, when President traveled to his village during his vacation, I usually go there to take note of all the courtesy calls from various villages and groups that will come there, so that these written notes, when we come back, people from Jahali Park will say our pumping machines are not functioning. So when you come back, you remind the president of all these points. And now you, as secretary to cabinet, it's not the work of the president to provide frame. These are skeletal information. It's you at the level of, that's why you are appointed to be innovative. It's you who should know if the rice fields, the pumping machines, or they don't have tractors, which ministry you should contact. There you will inform the president that these were the points discussed. The president can even tell you, okay, invite the Minister for Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security, whether you can help the Jahali Pakari people, or you can make a phone call to permanent secretary. How is your giraffe project or this particular project at Jahali Pakar, or how you can help them to elevate the trouble they are now facing. So this, and then also mention the issue of boreholes yesterday. So this, like you say, it will be transformed into actions now. And these are actions that you communicated to sector ministries. And ministries will also engage the agencies and departments that can execute that activity for them. If it is agriculture ministry, they will say roots can provide them guiding in that particular area. And then now the minister is already in the know. Then the minister will contact the projects team to see whether they can have garden at Blenat or at Campant, all those areas. Okay?
Yes. True to your testimony yesterday, which I very much enjoyed, was that even when the president is on leave, vacation, the concerns would be minuted by you.
Every
concern would be minuted by you. And once you get back into office, those will be related to action points that you would direct to the relevant sectors.
Good.
Fantastic. Yeah. Let's come back to this faithful day where you were making phone calls. You went with your book. It seems like you noted a few things down.
Yes.
What were those things that the SG was telling you to warrant you before writing a letter to make a phone call instead, directly to the Secretary to the Commission, and not even to the MOJ?
Now, when SB called me, he was explaining what transpired in their meeting.
So he explained what transpired?
Yes, that is why you mentioned earlier, to put the matter into context.
Now, what transpired in their meeting? Since SG explained what transpired in their meeting.
That the minister has gone to meet the commissioners, and this is the situation.
Don't say this is the situation, Mr. Ceesay. No. Tell us the situation.
No, remember the oath that I have taken, that the issue of confidentiality. So I'm giving you the paraphrases.
We don't want paraphrases. If there is an issue of confidentiality, raise it. We know what to do from then. But I'm not moving from this point until we know.
Remember the SG told this is public hearing.
That's fine. We'll make it a private one briefly for you to tell us what the SG told us. But you don't determine that. And again, if this happens to, yesterday I cautioned that nothing is confidential for Parliament.
Okay.
I informed you of that. I told you when we arrive at a point that you feel there's something that you want to say but it is confidential, raise it and the committee will know what to do. But as per the questions, or rather the answers, you do not determine what you will give us and what you will hold. You give us everything, Mr. Ceesay, or else you will be cited for contempt.
No, I was here on the 11th and I gave my statement. And that statement was recorded and I went through it and I signed. So this, what I'm making clear to you is that when your superior call you,
Yes. Nobody asked you about your statement.
Yes.
Again, what I'm saying is, what the SG told you that they discussed.
That is pertaining to the sales of
Is it
tractors.
confidential?
No, pertaining to the sales of tractors.
Yes, what the Minister of Justice told the President in the presence of in the presence of the SG upon approaching the Commission, what the Commission relayed to him, is that confidential?
No.
Then answer.
That he made the commissioners inform them about the decision that was taken at Cabinet, and the commissioners told him they will engage the Secretariat who is handling the sales of tractors at that point in time.
So that's what the commissioners
Relate
to the
what SG told me at the time.
Okay. Mr. Ceesay, why did we have to walk through thorns and broken glasses to get that answer? There's nothing confidential about that.
Okay.
What is okay?
Because as former cabinet secretary, some of these things we don't just bring it out like that.
So you have to be your hand has to be twisted and torn before you can.
No, not twisted. It's in this conversation.
So again, I'm going to ask several questions from now. I'm making it clear to you. The answers should be full and frank. Are we on the same page?
Yes.
You should get full answers, whether it's confidential or not. Now, if it's confidential, you have the right to say that, okay, there is something that is sensitive in my answer. I wish to bring it to your attention. And then the committee will take the appropriate step.
Okay.
All right. So the answer to the question was that the Minister of Justice spoke to the commissioners, and the commissioners told the Minister of Justice that they will tell the Secretary. So what was the urgency for you to tell the Secretary then? Why were you then instructed to tell the Secretary when it was done?
That's the instruction from my superior, Secretary General.
So your Secretary General,
how he received the message from the superior, I am not privy to that situation.
Of course you are. You are privy to how he received it. He received it
that it is an urgent.
He received it because he was a spectator, as you said,
yes,
in a meeting between the President and the Minister of Justice. Correct? So you do know how he came about the information.
Yes.
Proceed.
That is why he called me that we should carry out this activity urgently.
But what was urgent about it? Because your answer is, the Minister of Justice told the President that he has done what Cabinet has instructed him to do and told the commissioners that put a stop to this thing. And the commissioners told him, the Minister of Justice, that we will tell the Secretary. And the Minister of Justice then went back to State House and informed the President, the Chairperson, in the presence of the SG that it is done. I have informed the commissioners, and they will indeed call the ES. The ES. All right. Just let's stick to that point.
Okay.
So basically, Cabinet's instructions have been fulfilled. They are done. How they were done, whether we take issue with that, maybe as you are right. Maybe we should talk to the Minister of Justice.
Okay.
But what I want to ask you is, SG told you MOJ has come and said it's done. But SG still told you it's urgent that we call him. Please reconcile that. I'm struggling to understand that.
But instruction from presidency is different. Every action at presidency is urgent. At times you can assign a sector minister, and SG can ask you to call that particular ministry again on the same matter. So that warranted the SG to assign me to call the Executive Secretary at the time.
The fact that, did you just say the fact that instructions can be parallel? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it can be parallel, and then you need to do quick follow-up to report back to the principal on the matter.
But the report was already given to the principal. And the reporter was the Minister of Justice. And the report was that the instructions you gave me, they are done. So what business was left for the SG and Secretary to Cabinet?
The issue here, Mr. Counsel, is that Minister is an outsider. The Secretary General is the head of the Office of the President. So we need to carry out this assignment as soon as possible.
But why? Why? That's my question. Why? It was already done. The assignment was already carried out as soon as possible. And that as soon as possible was communicated to the President in the midst of your boss. Correct?
Yes.
Now, what necessitated the urgency, again, for Cabinet to contact the Commission directly?
The Secretary General and Secretary to Cabinet. Okay, contact the...
My apologies. Yes.
Okay.
You yourself, the Secretary to Cabinet, and the SG.
Yes.
Why? What warranted you to take this?
This is why I'm explaining to you. The Secretary Minister can brief the President on the matter, sometime in the presence of SG, or thereafter, the President can call SG and put the matter to him, and this is treated with urgency. That's the point at OP.
The point cannot sink in. You know why the point cannot sink in?
Yes.
It's because, let me give you another analogy. The analogy is that you, Mr. Ceesay, are asked by one of your brothers to go and pick a cup from the house of another brother, your third brother. You go to pick the cup, and you're informed that you received the cup later that evening. You go back to the first brother and tell the brother that the cup is coming, it's on its way, it's done, you will receive it. But then the brother then says, no, it's urgent, stop it now.
And that brother,
what warrants that urgency?
that brother is superior, that is giving you extra.
So that's my point. You follow instructions from your superior no matter what.
Exactly.
No matter what.
Public administration.
That is not public administration, with due respect to you, Mr. Ceesay. Public administration is following instructions in line with your TOR, in line with your office's mandate.
This is part of, I informed you yesterday that I report to Secretary General based on the organogram of the Office of the President.
Yes, but you don't report to him on an infinite amount of subject matter. You report to him in a definite amount.
And he also...
In fact, let me put it to you that you don't report to him when it comes to issues of cabinet. So you don't always report to him. There are things that you do not report to him. Let me learn. There are things that you don't report to him on. Just like when I asked that if your boss asks you to go and institute a suit, you will check your boss's mental state first, because that is an absurd instruction. The committee equally finds that an instruction was given to the Minister of Justice, the instruction was fulfilled, report was given back, but yet the instruction was still given to you to carry out again, this time directly, which again the committee finds absurd. Now, can you clarify what warranted the urgency when the report was already given by the Minister of Justice? It was done.
Okay, the urgency here is based on what the situation dictates. And as I inform you, at the Office of President, you have issues that are dealt with immediately. And these are the files that we deal with on daily basis. So in this case, when your superior invite you to his office and put the matter to you, then it's simple instruction that you need to carry out. No further, questioning or whatever. That's the point, Mr. Counsel.
Okay, so you did not feel like there was a need to clarify why you still need to call the secretary when the Minister of Justice told your boss and the President that the commission is aware that they should stop, and they have agreed with us that they should stop, and they will stop. You still thought it wise that the instructions from your boss were in order?
It's in order based on office decorum. But I should support him to call the ES at the time to pass the instruction to him that they should hold the sales of tractors.
So now it's an instruction.
Yes, from my superior to the ES.
No, yes. That
Yes.
you instruct the ES
Yes,
to stop.
from what the message from my superior. That's what I convey to
I
him.
understand.
Okay.
Yes. I understand that Mr. Ebrima Ceesay
Yes.
did not just get up and put a stop to it. I understand.
Okay.
You are exempted, sir.
All right.
But I need to know why you felt it was in order to continue with that directive. But before that, let's establish something here. And I do acknowledge that it's 2:00 and the Ceesay Kundas, yourself and the chair, need to go and replenish yourselves. But let's hold this point for just a few minutes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, chair, vice chair, and commissioners. Let's hold this point just a bit, right? We have established that the line ministry is the Ministry of Justice. They're the ones who communicate with the
commission.
and not the office of the president. In fact, it is strange for the office of the president
Based on a particular assignment.
no, based on the usual operation of the commission from inception to that point.
Yes.
The office of the president did not contact them directly for anything. Perhaps they responded to queries that the commission had.
Justice.
Yes. But everything was done through the Ministry of Justice.
Yes.
Now that ministry was instructed to do something, and they did it. And the ministry reported back to say, it is done. So what part of that it is done that the commission is aware that of our decision was lost in communication?
Let me put this little addendum there.
Please
Yes, that it is prudent for SG to carry out the instruction from the superior, and that is why he called me to his office. How again we can resolve the matter? Okay, that's the little addendum.
But according to your testimony, there was nothing to resolve. The matter was already resolved. Do you get the point?
No, it was not resolved. The sales was on. It was ongoing.
Okay, then that means you are not telling the committee something. Because one, you mentioned that the Minister of Justice reported back to say that he has informed the commissioners, and the commissioners informed him that they will immediately talk to the secretary to stop. Correct?
Intention was to stop, but it was ongoing. The Secretary General called me at the time.
How do you know that it was ongoing?
Through Secretary General.
How did Secretary General know it was ongoing?
As the time he's told me that we need to call this a gentleman.
No, answer my question. How did the Secretary General know that it was still ongoing?
I cannot, make further statement to
But
that.
he came to a meeting.
Yes, after the meeting.
After the meeting.
Yes.
The meeting that he was informed that it was done.
Yes, by
The secretary will be informed by the commissioners.
commissioners, by the care
Yes.
of the
So
commission.
now, if that was what was communicated, then there is no need for an extra step, even by the SG. What warranted that need for an extra step?
Mr. Counsel, you need to separate the chaff from the wind in this matter.
Please do it for me.
Yes, that is the MOJ minister is an outsider of OP. The way OP operates, you need to certify what the principal need. And if the matter is on your desk, you need to treat with urgency. That's the point here.
Okay, now my point is to join them back since you have separated them. My point is, OP was aware that the Commission of Inquiry was an independent Commission of Inquiry.
Yes.
And you, Mr. Ceesay, were also aware, and you were of the opinion that it was an independent Commission of Inquiry, an independent body. Correct?
But remember, the three estates of the government, the executive is at the top. Okay?
And where does the Commission of Inquiry lie then?
They are established by an act of parliament.
I believe I corrected you yesterday when you said that.
But you can clearly that the act there.
Hold on, Mr. Ceesay. You see, when you are enlightening me, I'm very attentive. And you see, I passed your class with flying colors. But when I'm enlightening you, you are not attentive at all. I'm telling you that there was no act of parliament. It was rather established under section 200 by a legal notice. It was a gazetted legal notice.
I submitted a letter to you. Can you check? You have an act something 35 or what 01 there.
That is the Commissions of Inquiry Act.
Laws of the Gambia.
That is the Commissions of Inquiry Act.
Okay.
It's a general act, but it doesn't govern specifically the Jammeh Commission. It governs all commissions of inquiry.
Thank you.
But for the Jammeh Commission, it was established by a gazetted legal notice.
Okay.
Now, please, let's continue with that question. The answer you gave was that the Minister of Justice told the President in the presence of the SG that what he was instructed to do, he has done, and he got a positive feedback from the Commission. And the Commission would communicate that immediately to the Secretary General. Now, if the Commission was going to do that to this, not the Secretary General, the Secretary to the Commission, if the Commission was already going to do that, what warranted that exercise from the SG? The same exercise that the commissioners were going to do to somebody who actually serves them. Why did OP need to contact the commission?
That's the point I've mentioned here. That the SG, when he call you for certain assignment, there is no this point where you can be questioning the Secretary General on those matters. Like this case, you are already in the know, you know what is happening. And the intention from the superior is for the sales of tractors to halt, to stop the sales of tractors. That was the intention. So this is what I'm trying to put to you.
Okay. What I've understood is that when your superior gives you an instruction,
exactly,
you close your eyes and you fulfill it.
That's the public administration.
That's public administration. Perhaps in your time, Mr. Ceesay, I would like to state.
I'm still active civil servant.
I understand. Yeah. I would like to tell you that the new generation of civil servants, we will not just take instructions blindly. We would advise our superior, and if the instruction remains, we will relent. But we can move on from the point. Since you were pressured by your superior, did you feel, would I be right in saying that OP, the Office of the President, also were using the pressure of their office or the magnanimity of their office to pressure the commission into doing something that was concluded in cabinet, not in the commission?
Based on instruction and the directives my superior received at the time, that can qualify that statement.
Qualify it how? That it is
that
true?
The Office of the President
use its force,
use the powers vested, the authority, powers vested
to interfere with the commission's.
Not to interfere.
What did you call it? To influence the commission's activities.
No, to pass the directives from the superior.
To direct the commission on what it should do.
What was discussed and how they should.
So to direct the commission on what to do.
That the commission should stop the sales of tractors at that point in time.
So which was a directive from cabinet?
From the executive branch of the government.
Which is something that was non-negotiable.
Yes, they need to halt for the meantime.
They need to halt. So it was non-negotiable.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, that's a good point for us to go and conduct Ceesay Kunda business. Honorable Chair, I ask that we take a break for lunch. Thank you very much, Mr. Ceesay.
Thank you, Mr. Council and the members.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Yes, we will take a break, lunch break, and we will resume at 3 o'clock for continuation. All right, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.